I've had a lot of requests to test upright vacuums, so the question is this $60 upright vacuum just as good as the one that costs $500? Well, let's find out. In the first test, we'll see which vacuum makes the most airspeed and suction. Then we'll see how they perform vacuuming carpet. Some vacuums struggled with tangles while others aced this test. At a price of $60, is this Bissell Clean View. One thing nice about the Bissell is that it comes out the box mostly assembled. The handle and the attachments have to be placed in the proper location, and then the Bissell is ready for action. It claims to offer powerful hair pickup. Triple action brush loosens, lifts, and removes embedded pet hair. They claim it has scatter-free technology on hard surfaces. We're going to test that. Includes two different attachments. The vacuum does have a washable filter, but it does not have a HEPA filter. The on and off switch is easy to access with the foot. Made in Vietnam. The brush and roller on the Bissell is 7.5 inches in width, and the overall head width is 10.5 inches. So that's a very inefficient design at only 71% of the head width actually going to work. And the Bissell weighs 7.77 pounds. And the Bissell is around 800 watts, definitely not a powerhouse of a vacuum. However, this is a very noisy vacuum at 92.6 decibels. At a price of $70, is this Amazon Basics. And the Amazon Basics is almost ready for action right out of the box with just the handle needing to be snapped into place. This is a very popular vacuum with about 10,000 in sales in the last 30 days. Large dust cap that allows you to keep on vacuuming. They claim it's very light at only 8.4 pounds. Includes a washable filter. Onboard attachments include crevice tool and upholstery tool. The Amazon Basics is made in Vietnam. The roller width on the Amazon Basics is 8 inches, but the overall head width is 11.25 inches. So only 71% of the vacuum head width is going to work. And it's 8.4 pounds for the Amazon Basics. And the Amazon Basics is just about as loud as the Bissell at 92 decibels. 776 watts is actually a little bit less than the Bissell. At a price of $90, is this Eureka Power Speed. Multi-surface vacuum with 5 height adjustments. Installing the hose, cord hooks, and the handle is very easy. And the Eureka can be assembled in less than a minute. Multi-surface vacuum with 5 height adjustments. Includes 4 different attachments. They claim it delivers a powerful and deep clean at 960 watts of power. The Eureka has a washable filter. The dust container will hold 2.6 liters. The Eureka is made in Vietnam. And the roller is about 9.5 inches in width, and the head width is around 13 inches. That's only about 71% efficiency. And the Eureka weighs 12.38 pounds. 88.7 decibels is a lot better than the Bissell and the Amazon Basics, but it's still pretty noisy. And 950 watts is the most power yet. At a price of $120, is this Bissell brand. This is a very popular vacuum with 10,000 in sales about every 30 days. And the Bissell requires more assembly than the previous brands to include fastening the handle with a couple of screws. There's also a cord hook that needs to be attached. It's an upright bagless vacuum with swivel steering. Triple action brush roll that loosens, lifts, and removes embedded pet hair. Filter replacement every 6 months. Comes with 5 different attachments. Made in China. And the roller is about 12 inches in width, and the overall head width is around 13.5 inches. That's 88.9% efficiency, the best yet. And the Bissell weighs just over 14 pounds. And 85.5 decibels is the least noisy vacuum cleaner yet. And the Bissell is at about 855 watts. At a price of $130, is this Kenmore Featherlight. Kenmore claims their vacuum delivers up to 850 watts. The handle and hose snap in place. It's a swivel vacuum with an LED headlight. Includes 3 different attachments. A 2-motor system for powerful deep cleaning on bare floors, carpet, and more. The HEPA filtration system is supposed to trap 99.97% of dust. The Kenmore is made in China. And the Kenmore's roller is about 8.5 inches in width, and the head is about 10 inches. That's 85% efficiency, which is the second best. And the Kenmore weighs just about 12.5 pounds. And 81.2 decibels is the least amount of noise yet. And the Kenmore claims 850 watts, but it did better than advertised at 905. At a price of $160, is this Shark 360. This is probably the most popular vacuum with 20,000 in sales every 30 days. The Shark requires more assembly than any of the previous brands, but only takes a couple of minutes and it's ready for action. The Shark also has a couple of washable filters and a HEPA filter. And the dustbins on all the previous brands have a push-button release, but the Shark has 2 buckles. It has a 0.9 quart capacity for longer cleaning sessions. And the Shark is made in Vietnam. And the roller is very close to 9 inches in width, and the overall head width is about 11 7/16. And it's 14.37 pounds for the Shark. And 80.9 decibels is the quietest vacuum yet. And 1,165 watts is the best of all the brands so far. The next vacuum we'll be testing at a price of $490 is also made by Shark. Just like the Shark 360, the Shark Stratus requires quite a bit of assembly. However, no tools required and everything snaps in place. Unlike the Shark 360, the dustbin release release is a push button. Uses odor neutralizer technology to guard against bad odors. HEPA filter is supposed to trap 99.9% of dust and allergens. Includes 3 different attachments. The roller is almost 10 inches in width and the overall head width is 12 inches. And the Shark Stratos is made in Vietnam. And the Shark Stratos weighs 16.82 pounds. And the Shark Stratos is the most powerful yet at around 1,434 watts. And 85.8 decibels is a little bit louder than the Shark 360. At a price of $500, the most expensive vacuum we'll be testing is made by Dyson and it's the Ball Animal 3 Extra. And the Dyson also requires quite a bit of assembly, but no tools are required and everything just snaps into position. Dyson claims that their vacuum has the best cleaning performance of any upright detangling vacuum. The detangling technology automatically clears wrapped hair from the brush. 3 different cleaning modes. Engineered for larger homes with pets. Made in Malaysia. The roller on the Dyson is close to 10 inches in width and the overall head width is close to 11 inches. The Dyson comes with 5 different attachments. And the Dyson is the heaviest yet at just over 17.5 pounds. And the Dyson makes more noise than the Shark vacuum at 87.9 decibels. And the Dyson is almost the same as the Shark Stratos at 1,413 watts. Weight can sometimes be an indicator of quality, and the Bissell CleanView is very light at less than 8 pounds. On the other hand, the Shark Stratos and Dyson weigh more than twice as much. And the Shark 360 is the quietest vacuum in the lineup at 80.9 decibels. And the Kenmore is also relatively quiet at 81.2. The vacuum with the widest roller is the Bissell 2252 at 12 inches. Roller size relative to the size of the vacuum cleaner's head is a design efficiency. And the Dyson and the Bissell 2252 are at 88.9%. Kenmore also has a very efficient design at 85%. The power consumption of a vacuum cleaner is a good indicator of performance. And the Shark Stratos is around 1,434 watts and the Dyson Ball is around 1,413. Airflow and suction are 2 very important performance characteristics when it comes to vacuum cleaners. So let's kick off our next test and see which vacuum cleaner offers the most airflow. The box is made of wood and all the joints have been sealed with silicone and tape to prevent air leaks. And the airspeed meter on the side of the box will keep track of the airflow. I'll first test the vacuums unsealed. I'll test all the vacuums in the highest speed setting. And the very affordable Bissell is moving air at around 9.9 miles per hour and 19.2 CFM unsealed. And the Amazon Basics uses less electricity than the Bissell. And 8.7 miles per hour and 17.2 CFM isn't quite as good as the Bissell. And the Eureka vacuum is moving the most air yet at 12.1 miles per hour and 24.2 CFM. And the Bissell 2252 has a 12-inch roller and needs more airspeed than the small vacuum heads. And 16.5 miles per hour and 31.47 CFM is the most air movement yet. And the Kenmore's brush roller is 30% shorter than the Bissell 2252's. However, it's only moving 12% less air at 14.27 miles per hour and 27.68 CFM. And the Shark 360 is moving air a little slower than the Kenmore at 13.9 miles per hour and 26.3 CFM. And the Shark Stratus is at 17.09 miles per hour and 31.29 CFM. And that's good enough to move into the lead over the Bissell 2252. And the Dyson makes by far the most airspeed yet at 23.3 miles per hour and 46.03 CFM. So the vacuum that moves the most air is the Dyson at 46 CFM. The Shark Stratus finished in second at 31.3 and Bissell 2252 30.5 CFM. I've sealed the vacuum cleaner to the tester with tape and it really helped the Bissell quite a bit at 22.5 miles per hour and 43.7 CFM. And the Amazon Basics once again trails the Bissell at almost 19 miles per hour and 36.7 CFM. And the Eureka moves into the lead at around 27.2 miles per hour and 52.87 CFM. And the Bissell 2252 trails the Eureka at 23.1 miles per hour and 45.4 CFM. And the Kenmore only made it to 21.28 miles per hour and 41.72 CFM. And the Shark 360 moves into the lead at 28.6 miles per hour and 55.56 CFM. And the Shark Stratos moves into the lead over the Shark 360 at 32.7 miles per hour and 63.4 CFM. And the Dyson is moving air almost as fast as the Shark Stratos at 32.2 miles per hour and 62.9 CFM. Sealing the vacuums to the tester using some tape really helped all of the brands. And the Shark Stratus moves the most air at 63.4 CFM. Dyson is almost as fast as 62.9 and Shark 360 55.6. Air volume is very important in suction, or the ability to lift objects off the ground is equally important. and the Bissell made 58 inches of water column. And once again, the Amazon Basics is trailing the Bissell at 50 inches, or about 16% less suction than the Bissell. And the Eureka moves into the lead at 61 inches of water. And the Bissell 2252 barely edges out the Eureka at 63.5. And the Kenmore doesn't make as much airspeed as some of the less expensive brands, but it makes around 82 inches of water. And the Shark 360 surged to 79 before dropping back to 63 inches of water. And the Shark Stratus is the most powerful vacuum cleaner yet at 100 inches of water column. Very impressive. And the Dyson surged to 109 inches of water before dropping back to 84. So the Dyson offers the most peak suction at 109 inches of water column. Shark Stratus finished in second at 100 and Kenmore 82. Let's measure out 100 grams of sand and then spread it across some carpet. I'll use a concrete trowel to press the sand down into the carpet. For the vacuum cleaners that have a height adjustment, I'll adjust the vacuums to the medium carpet height setting. I've weighed all the collection containers empty. The compact Bissell is on the left and the Amazon Basics is on my right. And both vacuum cleaners are leaving quite a bit of sand on the forward pass. However, both vacuums picked up most of the sand on the reverse pass. Unfortunately, there's still quite a bit of sand on the carpet after just one pass. And the Bissell collection container started off at 529 grams and it now weighs 611. So that's 82 out of 100 grams. And the Amazon Basics performed a little bit better than the Bissell, picking up 85 grams. And the Eureka is on my left and the Bissell 2252 is on my right. And the Bissell has a 12-inch brush roll but doesn't have enough suction and airspeed for such a large head. And the Bissell is leaving quite a bit of sand behind on the forward pass. On the reverse pass, the Bissell left more sand than the Eureka. And the Eureka barely outperformed the compact Bissell vacuum cleaner at 86 grams. And the Bissell 2252 really struggled at only 68 grams. And it's the Kenmore on the left competing against the Shark that's on my right. And the Shark just doesn't seem to be too hungry as it's leaving behind a lot of leftovers on the forward pass. The Shark also left behind quite a bit of sand on the reverse pass. And the Kenmore seems to have done the best job so far at picking up the sand. And the Kenmore moves into the lead over the Eureka at 92 grams of sand. And the Shark 360 trails the Kenmore at 84 grams. And it's the Shark Stratos competing against the Dyson. And the Shark Stratos and the Dyson are both performing very well on the forward pass, but the Shark is missing a little bit more sand than the Dyson. On the reverse pass, both vacuums are doing a terrific job and they look to be doing the best yet. And both vacuums did a great job of picking up most of the sand. And the Shark Stratos collected 96 grams of sand, which is the best yet. And the Dyson did even better at 98 grams. Very impressive. So the Dyson came out on top at 98 grams. The Shark finished in second place at 96 grams and the Kenmore 92 grams of sand. If you have teenagers, you may have seen these airsoft plastic balls. They can be very challenging for a vacuum cleaner since they are round and dense. The Bissell is on the left and the Amazon Basics is on my right. And both vacuum cleaners are really struggling to pick up the plastic balls. Most of the balls are being pushed by the vacuums and both vacuums are really struggling. Unfortunately, both of the vacuum cleaners perform very poorly, leaving behind most of the plastic balls. And the Eureka is on my left and the Bissell 2252 is on my right. Both the Eureka and the Bissell are doing a much better job compared to the previous two brands at rolling over the top of the plastic balls. And the Bissell is really struggling to pick up the balls on the forward pass. And the Eureka spit out a couple of plastic balls, however both vacuums are performing better than the previous two brands. So the Eureka performed slightly better than the Bissell. And the Kenmore is on my left and the Shark 360 is on the right. And once again the Shark 360 doesn't seem as hungry as the Kenmore and is pushing the plastic balls instead of picking them up. On the other hand, the Kenmore is rolling over top of the plastic balls and is picking up just about all of the plastic balls. On the reverse pass, the Kenmore picked up the 3 remaining balls that it missed on the forward pass. And the Kenmore has done by far the best job yet and has picked up all of the plastic balls. Unfortunately, the Shark 360 pushed quite a few plastic balls off the end of the carpet. And it's the Shark Stratos to my left and the Dyson to the right. And the Shark Stratos is eating the plastic balls like you'd expect from a shark. While the Dyson is picking up a lot of plastic balls, it's also pushing some of them. And the Shark Stratos is doing the best job so far on the forward pass, only missing 1 plastic ball. The Kenmore only missed 3 on the forward pass. While the Dyson didn't miss any plastic balls on the forward pass, it really struggled to drive over top of them. And the Shark Stratos has performed just as good as the Kenmore. And the Dyson pushed a couple of dozen plastic balls off the end of the carpet. Also, some of the plastic balls have become trapped inside of the Dyson's hair removal vanes. I'll have to disassemble the head before removing the balls before the next test. While assessing performance is highly subjective, the Kenmore and the Shark Stratos did the best job with the best possible rating of 1. Let's see how the vacuum cleaners perform, picking up hair that's around 5 to 6 inches in length. It may look like a lot of hair, but there's only about 5 grams of hair in each test lane. And both the Bissell and the Amazon Basics are missing hair on the forward pass. However, both vacuum cleaners are collecting most of the hair. On the return pass, both the Bissell and the Amazon Basics are picking up just about all of the hair. And both the Bissell and the Amazon Basics collected about 99% of the hair, but both vacuum cleaners definitely did miss some. and the hair collected by both vacuum cleaners made its way into the canisters without becoming clogged. And both vacuum cleaners experienced about the same amount of hair wrap around the brush roll. And the Eureka is on the left and the Bissell 2252 is on the right. And both of these vacuum cleaners have a larger diameter brush roll than the Amazon Basics and the smaller Bissell, which should really help. And the Eureka seems to be picking up just about all the hair on the forward pass. However, the Bissell is definitely missing some hair. And both vacuum cleaners did a great job of picking up the hair on the return pass. The hair made its way into the collection bin for both vacuums and they did not become clogged. And the Eureka experienced a little more hair wrap compared to the Bissell 2252. And the Kenmore is on the left and the Shark 360 is on the right. And the Kenmore is missing a few strands of hair on the forward pass, but both vacuums are doing a pretty good job. On the reverse pass, the Kenmore picked up the hair that it missed. And the hair made its way into the collection bins for both vacuums without causing a clog. Unfortunately, the Kenmore did experience quite a bit of hair wrap compared to the Shark 360. The Kenmore is on the left and it has a pretty small diameter brush roll compared to the Bissell 2252, which is on the right. And the Shark Stratos is on the left and the Dyson is on the right. And both vacuums are picking up most of the hair on the forward sweep, but the Shark did miss a few strands of hair. On the return pass, the Shark picked up the rest of the hair. And the Shark Stratos and the Dyson both did a perfect job at avoiding hair wrap and both did the best job of all the vacuum cleaners. While assessing hair pickup is highly subjective, most of the vacuum cleaners receive the best possible rating of 1. Assessing hair wrap around the brush roll is also subjective. However, the Shark Stratos and Dyson vacuum cleaners earned the best possible rating of 1. In the next test, let's compare vacuum cleaner performance at vacuuming rice off the concrete floor. I've placed 50 grams of rice in each test lane. The compact Bissell is on the left and the Amazon Basics is on the right. And the Amazon Basics is throwing rice all over the shop and making quite a mess. I'll sweep up the entire area before moving on to the next two vacuums. And the compact Bissell actually picked up 52 grams of rice, some of which was tossed to the side by the Amazon Basics. Unfortunately, the Amazon Basics only collected 24 grams. The Eureka is on my left and the Bissell 2252 is on the right. And both vacuums are set up for vacuuming a bare floor. And the Eureka and the Bissell are picking up just about all of the rice on the forward pass. However, the Eureka is throwing a small amount of rice, and both vacuums did an almost perfect job on the return pass and picked up almost all the remaining rice. However, there are a few pieces of rice that were tossed to the side by the Eureka. And the Kenmore is on the left and the Shark 360 is on the right. And both vacuums are doing a near perfect job at picking up the rice on the forward pass. And both vacuums scored a perfect 50 out of 50 grams of rice, and there isn't any rice that was thrown outside the test lanes. And the Shark Stratos is on the left and the Dyson is on the right. Both vacuums are set up for vacuuming a bare floor. And both vacuums performed very well on the forward pass, capturing just about everything. And the test lanes are free of rice after the return pass. Most of the vacuum cleaners performed extremely well in this test, picking up 50 grams of rice. Unfortunately, the Amazon Basics really struggled, picking up only 24 grams. While just about all the vacuums collected 50 grams, some of the vacuums still tossed a few grains outside the test lane. While this is a subjective assessment, most vacuums receive the best possible rating of 1. Let's compare the performance of the vacuums at lifting sand out of a crevice that's close to a ½ inch deep. I'll make 3 passes across the crevice for each vacuum. And the Bissell Compact is using its brush to claw away at the sand, but it's not able to lift too much of the sand out of the crevice. On the third pass, the Bissell has pretty much given up and there's not too much sand that's being lifted out of the crevice. I emptied and reweighed the dust bins after the last test, and some of the dust bins have gained a small amount of weight. And the Bissell started off at 534 grams and it now weighs 559 for a total of 25 grams of sand. And the Amazon Basics is also using its brush roll to bat away at the sand that's in the crevice. However, the Amazon Basics is throwing a lot of the sand that's being lifted out of the crevice and is making quite a mess. On the third pass, there just isn't much sand that's being lifted out of the crevice. Unfortunately, the Amazon Basics barely made any progress and only picked up 5 grams of sand. And the Eureka lifted a decent amount of sand on the first pass. However, it's tossing quite a bit of the sand that it's lifting and making a mess. On the third pass, it's pretty much given up on lifting any more sand out of the crevice. And the Eureka only picked up 20 grams of sand, or 5 grams less than the compact Bissell. And the Eureka 2252 is set up for vacuuming a bare floor. Just like the Eureka, the Bissell is lifting and then throwing some of the sand. After the second pass, the Bissell has pretty much given up on picking up additional sand. And the Bissell 2252 collected a total of 30 grams of sand to take the lead from the compact Bissell. And the Kenmore is only lifting a small amount of sand with each pass. However, it's not throwing sand like some of the other brands. And the Kenmore has pretty much picked up all the sand that it's going to pick up after the second pass. And the Kenmore picked up a total of 19 grams. And the Shark 360 seems to be picking up less sand than the Kenmore. Unfortunately, it's just not sealing to the floor very well and it's not able to lift the sand. And the Shark 360 seems to have given up after the second pass. Unfortunately, the Shark 360 really struggled at only 12 grams of sand. And the Shark Stratos is a powerhouse at over over 1400 watts and it makes a lot of lift and airspeed. And the Shark Stratus lifted a lot of sand out of the crevice on the first pass. And the Shark continues to make a lot of progress on the second pass and it isn't throwing sand. And the Shark just lifted about all of the sand out of the crevice on the third pass. Very impressive. And the Shark Stratus just moved into the lead at 60 grams of sand. And the Dyson is also a powerhouse at over 1400 watts and makes a lot of airspeed and suction. And the Dyson seems just as hungry for sand as the Shark Stratus, lifting a lot of sand out of the crevice on the first pass. And the Dyson continues to pull a lot of sand out of the crevice on the second pass. And the vacuum has lifted just about all of the sand out of the crevice on the third pass. And the Dyson barely edges out the Shark Stratus at 62 grams of sand. Very impressive. So the Dyson came out on top at 62 grams, but the Shark Stratus performed almost as well at 60. All of the other brands really struggled on this test. They just don't make enough airspeed and suction while also making a good seal. In the next test, let's see how well the vacuums perform at picking up rice against a wall. And the compact Bissell actually performed well in this test, picking up most of the rice. It did miss some of the rice that's within 1/4 inch of the wall. And the Amazon Basics continues to really struggle at lifting the rice. And the vacuum seems to have way too much brush roll speed compared to the airflow and lift, a bad combination. And the Amazon Basics missed quite a bit of rice within 1 inch of the wall. And the Eureka picked up quite a bit of rice on the first forward pass. However, it's not reaching quite as closely to the wall as the compact Bissell. And the Eureka definitely performed better than the Amazon Basics, but not quite as well as the compact Bissell. And the Bissell 2252 is doing a pretty good job on the first pass. Just like the compact Bissell, the Bissell 2252 is really struggling to collect all the rice up against the wall. After the third attempt, the compact Bissell and the Bissell 2252 seem to have performed about the same. Eureka finished in third place and Amazon Basics fourth place. And the Kenmore is very well designed for cleaning up against the wall and has done by far the best job yet. After 3 attempts, the Kenmore has picked up just about all the rice. Very impressive. Another attempt or two and the Kenmore would have picked up all of the rice. The Shark 360 is struggling to gather all the rice up against the wall. As the vacuum moves away from the wall, the Shark is scattering the rice that it's not able to pick up. Even after 5 attempts, the Shark 360 really struggled in this test. And the Shark Stratus is doing a great job of picking up the rice that's up against the wall. As the Shark Stratus moves away from the wall, it is struggling just a little to pick up all the rice. After 3 attempts, the Shark Stratus has performed just about as well as the Kenmore. And the Dyson is missing a lot of the rice in the very center of the vacuum head. Changing the path of the vacuum cleaner just a little really helped the Dyson pick up most of the rice. Assessing performance is highly subjective, but the Kenmore received the best possible rating of 1. Power cord length can be a significant factor to consider, and the Dyson has the longest power cord at 35 feet. Shark Stratus has a power cord length of 29 feet. So which vacuum cleaner is the best? The vacuums are organized from least expensive to most expensive. I've converted performance into an A through F grading scale to help make sense of the results. In a typical review, I usually find at least one product that performs well and is priced affordably. Unfortunately, none of the vacuums for under $100 perform well enough for me to recommend. However, for the vacuum cleaners in the price range between $100 and $200, I really like the Kenmore. It's relatively quiet, has plenty of power cord length, and does a good job of lifting sand out of the carpet. It also performed well picking up airsoft plastic balls, picking up hair, but it does struggle with hair becoming wrapped around the brush roll. It did the best job at vacuuming close to a wall. It also did a pretty good job of vacuuming a floor without tossing the rice and sand. However, it really struggled to lift sand out of a crevice. I also like the Shark 360, and it's a little bit more powerful than the Kenmore. However, it didn't perform quite as well as the Kenmore for lifting sand from the carpet, picking up the plastic balls, and vacuuming close to a wall. Comparing the vacuums that cost less than $200 against the Shark Stratus and the Dyson is like comparing a naturally aspirated 4-cylinder against a supercharged V8. Both the Shark Stratus and the Dyson are very powerful machines and have tremendous airspeed and lift. The vacuum cleaner heads are very well designed, allowing them to form a tight seal against the floor to deep clean carpets and even lift sand from a deep crevice. I was very impressed with both the Dyson and the Shark Stratus. I really enjoy reviewing products, and a big thank you to everyone that supports the channel. It's extremely expensive to buy all these products, and the support really helps. All the videos in this channel are viewer suggested, so if you have a video idea, I hope you'll take time to leave a comment. Thanks so much for watching. Please take care and look forward to next time.